help me, God. Thank you. Now to the Toastmasters Promise. Sorry for the break. Okay, to the Toastmasters Promise. This is expected to be recited by all members of Toastmasters. Our guests could relax while we recite this. But of course, our Toastmaster as well should remain muted. The only voice you'll be hearing is my voice. The Toastmasters Promise. To attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all my speech and leadership projects to the best of my ability, basing them on projects in communication or computed leadership manuals, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so that they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters educational and recognition programs, to maintain honest and highly ethical standards during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. Thank you so much for coming along with me. Before we glide into today's meeting, before we glide into today's meeting, I would like to set some ground rules. The essence of these ground rules is to have a smooth engagement so that the meeting will go seamlessly and we'll have less of distractions and less of what? Disruptions. Now, let us make sure we try as much as we can to always mute ourselves while we are not speaking, and always remember to unmute ourselves while we are speaking. Also, in addition to that, in order to show presence of mind and audience, that feel of being in a normal surrounding, normal, maybe in the hall, during our meeting, we're seeing ourselves one-on-one. In order to achieve that, we should try to put on our videos. And anytime we know we are leaving the face, we should ensure we put off our video. We want to see a lovely smile because this adds value to the success of the meeting. Now, let us note that I would like to invite, at this moment, I would like to invite our president. She is an award-winning Toastmaster. For years, she has been an area champion of international speech contest, and she is still winning. Even 3 days ago, she won. Join me to welcome Toastmaster Toyin Bolajoko with a round of applause to the virtual lesson.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Madam Sergeant at Arms. You would all agree with me that today is going to be a great, great, great meeting. As you are well aware, the Sergeant at Arms has set a standard of high energy, of enthusiasm and excitement. I can feel the excitement right from my screen. And I know I speak for everyone else if I say we're all excited to be here. Yes, the rain has given us a very cool weather. I mean, it was a struggle getting up to the bed this morning because after a long stretch of Lagos heat, it was finally a relief for us to see the rain pour down in showers. So it was a good morning for every one of us. I'd like to thank everyone who has joined in the meeting already. And I would like to say it's good to have you. You are in for a thrilling experience today. We have in the house our very own distinguished Toastmaster and Division Director in person of DTM Oluyemi Adeosun is going to be taking us in a training. We have also speeches from our very own Learntor members. One will be giving an icebreaker, which means she's going to give her very first speech to the club as a way of introducing herself. Another person would also be giving a prepared speech. We also have some amazing things all lined up for today. So please let us be very excited. It promises to be an amazing, amazing, amazing meeting. Okay, fellow Toastmasters, esteemed guests, before I run along and allow us to continue in the meeting, I'd like us to talk about something that I've not been seeing a lot of lately, and which is very important to the world we live in: encouragement. Encouragement. When was the last time you encouraged somebody around you? It's often downrated or underlooked, the word encouragement. But in a world where we're just recovering from a global pandemic, where there's insecurity on the rise, where there is inflation and a lot of mishaps, it's a good thing to always have someone who can look at you and say, you are doing well, you can do it, I'm rooting for you. You would agree with me that during the pandemic, a lot of people complained about depression because they couldn't have the normal human interaction. And what helped a lot of people to get by was the encouragement they were receiving from family and friends, even though it was virtual. So I want to employ us today to please try as much as possible to encourage one another. Encourage people around you. Encourage people that you see that are doing well. When was the last time you looked at somebody randomly and say, hey, I've been observing your work. It's good work. Trust me. A word of encouragement goes a long way. No man is an island, and a single tree does not make a forest. So in that vein, I would like to encourage every one of us to keep working on ourselves, to keep building up ourselves, to keep finding out better ways to live. We just have one life to live, and we have to live it to the fullest. So if you are doing whatever you're doing, whatever field you are, I like to encourage you to keep at it. Do not give up. Do not give up. We're just in the second quarter of 2021, and a lot more can still happen. And I believe in your good. There will be times where you will be down. There will be times where you will have doubts. There will be times where you will question your abilities. But I want you to know that as long as you have life, you have a purpose. Any day you wake up and feel frustrated and it looks as if everything is going wrong and you do not have any contribution to the society, I want you to place your right hand on your chest, keep quiet, feel your heartbeat. As long as your heart is beating, that is purpose. You have a purpose to fulfill, and that is why you are still existing. The moment you do not have any purpose to fulfill, you will cease to exist. But as long as your heart beats and you can hear the thump, thump, thumb of your heart beating against your chest, it means that you have a purpose to fulfill. So do not be discouraged. Whatever it is you're doing, the good book of the Bible says, whatever your hands finds to do, do it with all your heart. A lot of our guests want to become Toastmasters, full members. Do it with all your heart. A lot of members want to grow on their pathways. Do it with all your heart. Whatever your hands finds to do, do it with all your heart. So this is just me encouraging every one of us today not to give up, not to be downtrodden by the problems and the issues of the world. So ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, I hope with these few points of mine, you are encouraged to go on, to keep winning, to keep trying, and to keep succeeding. And to our guests, I hope you're encouraged to finally join us as full-time members. I would always be here to support you in whatever you choose to do, as long as it is legal. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, once again. I would like now to introduce the Toastmaster of the day, who is going to serve as our MC in the common language. This person would be in charge of handling the affairs of the meeting, is going to be in charge of making sure that we have an exciting time with ourselves and with the meeting. So please, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, join me as I welcome to the virtual lectern Toastmaster D.A. Ayo. I apologize, I do not have his profile yet, but I'm going to allow him introduce himself in the way that he pleases, telling us his achievements, where he's from. I can see he's a young man wearing glasses and looking good in his black attire. Please welcome to the virtual lectern, Toastmaster Ayo. You can use the clap emoji or just clap as I welcome into the virtual lectern. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam President. Thank you for encouraging us. My name is D.A. Ayo. I'm a medical doctor by training. I'm also into consulting, and I'm also a facilitator, soft skills facilitator, and positive change coach. But today it's about everyone. It's not about the Toastmasters. It's about everyone here. First of all, I want to thank the Sergeant at Arms for that brilliant rendition of that song. We need showers right now. It has been very hot. Now the rain is here. It shows that this meeting is really blessed. And somebody once said this. They asked a brilliant musician, a jazz musician of blessed memory, Duke Ellington, one of the most respected jazz performers in the United States of America, of blessed memory. They asked him, what is a brilliant performance? And he said this: being at the right place, at the right time, in front of the right people or the right audience, and doing the right thing. Let me say this, that Learntor Toastmasters meeting today is the best thing that can happen to you right now. You have succeeded by attending this meeting. The showers of rain, the showers of blessings have been blessed. Too much of our time. We'll be going into the main thing today. As you know, every Toastmasters meeting has two segments. That of the prepared speeches, which comes after the part where we have impromptu speeches, where you speak extempore. I would like to invite the general evaluator, who will introduce her team, and all the members of her team will also introduce about their roles. Somebody once said, why do we have evaluators? Because feedback is a breakfast of champions. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. If you don't get feedback, you will not know how you're performing. You will not know whether you're improving, and you will not learn something new, which is very, very important. So today we have a brilliant lady, somebody that I know. We are in the same club. I met her, I think, in 2019. She's an ebullient person. She's a spiffing. She is a trained lawyer, a barrister, and she's also a voice actor. She's the current programs manager at Harvard Business School Association of Nigeria. Like I said, she joined Toastmasters in 2019. She's currently the secretary of the premier breakfast Toastmasters Club in Nigeria, that is BSN Toastmasters Club, or the Business School Netherlands Toastmasters Club. She loves listening to good music. And like I said, she has been giving spiffing performances. She is a brilliant speaker, eloquent, and with good diction. Please, Adeshola Aladeshawe, who is our general evaluator for today, please, can you give her a round of applause or the virtual way? So join me as I welcome her. Toastmaster Toastmaster Adeshola, please. The virtual lecture is yours.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's good to be here at Learntor Toastmasters Club. Today, I will be serving as the general evaluator, and with my team, we will be performing roles and making sure that everything that we did today is done appropriately and done with panache and with poise. As role players, I will be calling on them one after and how we intend to follow their guide point. First on my list is the R counter. Our R counter today is Toastmaster Chinyere Oranugo. She's a business person, and her likes include distinctiveness and open-mindedness. She loves people who are distinct and who have open minds. Her primary focus for 2021 is digital transformation. It says, easy does it. With a virtual round of applause, please let's invite Toastmaster Chinyere over to the virtual lecture to tell us what her role is as the R counter. Over to you, Toastmaster Chinyere.
Toastmaster Chinyere, you're muted.
Oh, funny. Oh, sorry about that. Thank you, my brilliant general evaluator. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests in this meeting. My role will be one of our four spiffing speeches made by this meeting. For me, a spiffing speech would be one that is engaging, coherent, and well thought out, basically having less to no pause fillers. And what are pause fillers? Fillers are distractive words and or phrases that we use to fill our speeches. And this could be born out of lack of knowledge of topic of discussion or poor preparedness. So we have people in between speeches just too frequently and distracting. You have you bet, and such words that are distractive. At the end of this meeting, or at some point in this meeting, I will be called back, I guess, by my general evaluator, obviously, to give my evaluation of what went on with us fillers in this meeting. So I am the line to my general evaluator. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Chinyere. That was well delivered. We look forward to hearing from you later. And I hope that a lot of us here would take her admonition so that we don't have a lot of pause fillers in our speeches today. Next up is someone who would ensure that we are listening and paying attention. The listening evaluator for today's meeting is none other than Toastmaster Shayo Bilubaje. I hope I got that correctly. 2 likes of Toastmaster Shayo is family and Arsenal FC. His primary focus for 2021 is to freelance, and that is amazing, I must say. His favorite quote says, "The room for improvement is the biggest room in the world," and I cannot agree, or I cannot actually contest that, I meant to say. I would like to invite Toastmaster Shayo over to the virtual lectern. Toastmaster Shayo, are you in the building? You have the virtual lectern. Please give us a brief description of your role. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my general evaluator. It is indeed an honor to serve as the listening evaluator for today's meeting. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. You will all agree with me that one competence often overlooked in effective communication is that of active listening. We usually think that more speaking translates to better communication, but I'm happy to let us know today that the better you are at listening, the more effective your communication will be. Today, I'll be evaluating how attentive and present we are in today's meeting. I'll be watching out for some remarkable statements that will be used during the meeting, who said what, and perhaps in what context those words were used. I can imagine that our guest trainer is ready to load us with a whole lot of information on how to maximize our value from a Toastmasters journey. So I'll be watching out, and I'll be back later to ask some exciting questions as to what was said, and just to test how attentive or how effective is our listening throughout the day. But finally, before I hand over to the general evaluator, let me encourage us to engage more with the chat box. So when somebody says something profound, when you hear something that resonates with you, feel free to use the chat box. So we'll be able to engage even more. Just know that your listener evaluator is taking notes. And at the end of the day, when I'm called upon by my general evaluator, I will just tell us how we had fared in terms of listening. Thank you, general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shayo. That was beautifully done. Thank you for keeping us on our toes. Next up is the grammarian, our grammarian for today's meeting, who will introduce his role, his or her role, and what it entails. The grammarian for today's meeting is Toastmaster Boluwatife Banwu. He's a human resource personnel. 2 likes is leadership and politics. Primary focus for 2021 is all-round growth, and that is amazing. Quote that he or she likes is this: that man is the measure of all things, of things that they are, and things that are not, that they are not. To give us a brief description of the role of the grammarian, I'd like to invite Toastmaster Boluwatife Banwu over to the virtual lectern. Toastmaster Bolu, you have the virtual lectern.
The general evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and guests, it's a privilege to be here. My name is Toastmaster Boluwatife Banwu, and I'm playing the role of the grammarian. Part of what I am here to do today is to introduce to us the word for the day, and that I am bringing up on the screen. So please give me a few seconds and it will come up shortly. You see my screen? Can anyone confirm that they can see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So the word for today is zilch. The word for today is zilch. It means nothing. Synonyms are zero, nil, etc. An example is, at the moment, these shares are worth zilch. That means these shares are worth nothing. I hope that we'll be able to use the word of the day and incorporate it into our speeches into our evaluations and everything we're going to be doing today. Having said that, I will come back to give an evaluation of our use of the word of the day. But that's not only what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to also be looking out for our use of grammar. It's important that even as we speak, evaluate speeches, and we play our roles, we ensure that we use proper grammar. And so if we use proper grammar, I will take note of that. And if we also if we have improper use of grammar, I will take note of that as well. When we make statements that are profound, I'll take note of them and give us a feedback at the end of the meeting, the general evaluator.
Okay, thank you so much, Toastmaster Bolu. Last but not the least, to serve as a role player at today's meeting is our timer. The timer's role is very important to help guide us seamlessly throughout the about approximately 2 hours that we have to spend today. And I'd like to invite none other than Toastmaster Josephine, who is also serving as the SAA, the Secretary at Arms at Learntor Toastmasters. Okay, Toastmaster Josephine is a businesswoman. I've heard her speak before, and I must say she is so ebullient with how she delivers every time. Her likes include hard work, integrity, and honesty. Parts of her hobbies include dancing, cooking, listening to music, and shopping. Her favorite quote says, "Nothing good comes easy, and what will be, will be." Over to you, Toastmaster Josephine, even as you tell us just how well we are to spend our time here today. Over to you, ma'am. Toastmaster Josephine. Is she in the house? Toastmaster Josephine.
I'm here. Sorry, I was muted.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so very much, my amiable general evaluator, for your kind words. I really appreciate them. Good afternoon once again, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm very happy to serve as your timer for today's meeting. I'm so excited. Time and tide, they say, wait for no man. Meaning, if you don't make use of a favorable opportunity, you may never get that same chance. As your timer for today, it is my duty to ensure that the meeting goes exactly as scheduled. The first thing I'll be doing for the speech, we'll be having, as it was said, we'll be having the table topic speech, which is the impromptu speech. We'll be having the icebreaker speech and also the prepared speech. For the table topic speech, a speaker is expected to speak for 2 to 3 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll be flashing my green card. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, I'll be flashing my yellow card. Then at 2 minutes, I'll be flashing my red card. But not to worry, it is at that point the speaker puts all of his thoughts or a thought together and try to end up in the next 30 seconds. Then for the prepared speech and the icebreaker speech, a speaker is expected to speak for 5 to 7 minutes. At 6 minutes, I'll flash my green card. 6 minutes, 30 seconds, I'll flash my red card. And at 7 minutes, yellow card, sorry. And at 7 minutes, I will flash the red card. At that point, the speaker is expected to sum up his or her thoughts together so as to round up before 7 minutes, 30 seconds. That will be my duty for today. And at the end of the day, my general evaluator will call me back to give back to give back my report. Thank you so much. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Madam Timer. And with that, I would like to hand over to the Toastmaster of the day. After everything, we will be back, my team and I, to give a general evaluation of how well we have fared at this meeting. Please, once again, we're encouraged to use the chat box just so that nothing is missing, so that everyone catches something, and just so that we actually take something out of this meeting. Thank you very much. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Adeshola, for that spiffing performance. And also, I want to thank the members of your team for performing very well. Today's word of the day is zilch, which means zero or nothing. It is easy to use. It's obvious that it's a negative word. So instead of putting, usually it's a negative word in a place like this. So instead of, all you have to do is just put, it is not. Today, I'm sure we're not going to leave this place with zilch. And we're not going to have zilch performances. So please make sure you use zilch as often as possible. It is easy to use. And also you can use it on the chat box. Write a sentence that has to do with zilch. I'm sure Toastmaster Oluyemi will read all these things, even on the chat box. If you're coming to speak, use the word zilch. We'll move to the next segment of today's meeting. As we've been told earlier, we have two segments or two sessions in Toastmasters meetings. All Toastmasters meetings have two sessions, normal meetings. The impromptu speeches and the prepared speeches. We call the impromptu speeches for our guests. We call our impromptu speeches table topics. And we have a table topics master or the madam table topics master, because we have a female person who will be handling the table topics today. As you know, she is the incumbent president of this wonderful Toastmasters Club. She is a sales executive, and she loves food and books. She loves food and books. Our primary focus in 2021 is the concept of being, which is to grow in character. Toastmaster Tony's favorite quote is, "To thyself be true," by William Shakespeare, from his play Hamlet. Please help me to make welcome to the virtual lectern, the incumbent president, and the table topics master for today, Toastmaster Oluyemi Adeosun. Please give her a round of applause.
Thank you very kindly, the Toastmaster of the day, for giving a performance that left zilch out. I hope I used the word correctly. Thank you very much. Fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, we have now come to the section where I will be picking or selecting a lucky few to come give a performance they did not prepare for. You know, it's amazing to see that most of the successes that happens, we don't prepare for it. Imagine you are in an elevator going to the 6th floor of an office complex. And on the 2nd floor, the elevator door opens and a man walks in. You were on your phone looking down. And by the time you looked up, it turns out to be the multi-billionaire Chief or Alhaji Aliko Dangote. And he walks in and says, "Good morning, young man or young lady." And you say, "Good morning." That is your opportunity to sell yourself. That is your opportunity to connect with someone of value. What would you do in that situation? This is why we have table topic session, to prepare you for speeches that you have not prepared for. because you could walk in to an Aliko tomorrow and you have to give a pitch. What would you say? Now, today I have very interesting topics, which I would be giving to 3 people, and we expect them to give a 2 to 3 minute speech regarding the topics. I'll be looking through our participants list, and I would just call on anyone that I know is a guest. Please, if you are one of the chosen lucky people, kindly turn on your camera once I call out your name, unmute your mic, and wait for your question. Once it's 2 minutes, you would see the timer card, and you have about 2 minutes, 30 seconds. You see another yellow card. Once it's 3 minutes, you see the red card. Please, once you see the red card, you have less than 30 seconds to round off your thoughts. Now, I would like to pick on my first lucky guest. Can I please have Omololu Fagbule? Omololu Fagbule, could you please unmute your mic and turn on your camera? Is she in the house? Omololu?
Yes, I am, but not so prepared. Hi, Tony.
That's the point. You don't have to be prepared. Could you please turn on your camera? We'd like to see your beautiful face. Thank you.
Hey, am I properly ready for this like this?
Don't worry, don't worry. We know the challenges of a virtual meeting, so you're free to just give us a headshot.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, there you are.
Is good enough.
Yes, it's good enough. Hello. Okay,
Hi.
so I want to ask you a question, and it's in 2 parts, and you're supposed to give us a 2 to 3 minutes presentation of it.
Okay.
Have you taken the COVID-19 vaccine? If yes, why? Who convinced you, or what convinced you? If no, why? What is holding you back? And the second part of the question is, do you think, what do you think is causing the fear behind the COVID-19 vaccine? So 2 parts of the question: have you taken the COVID-19 vaccine? If yes, who convinced you, or what convinced you? If no, what is holding you back? And second part of the question is, what do you think is causing the fear behind the vaccine? The virtual lecture is yours.
Okay, once again, Mr. Molulu, as you all know or see on the screen, and yes, I have taken the vaccine. So the vaccine is in 2 parts. The first dose, then you have to wait like 2 more months to get the second dose. So I have gotten the first dose, and I took it because it was like a challenge in the office. I didn't really know about the vaccination up until, because I don't really read broadcasts. I'm so not on news. I do other things except to read what's happening in Nigeria or in the world at large. But it was just like, it was a meeting in the office, and they were talking about vaccination. And I was like, I thought it wasn't free. I thought you had to pay for it. I said, no, that's not vaccination. That's for testing. If you're traveling, you have to pay for it. Yeah. So and I said, okay, let's see if I can get vaccinated too. So fortunately, I have a customer on my belt that is a
You're muted.
Like he's okay. A call just came. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
So like he's the big boss of a general hospital in his solo. So fortunately, he came in that day to do some transactions at work, and I was like, okay, Doc, how far? Like, do you have the vaccination crew in your office already? He said yes. I said, okay, I'd like to be vaccinated. So that was how I got vaccinated. But on the day of vaccination, it wasn't funny. I had to call my mom, my dad. Guys, I have a hospital that I can get vaccinated on. I can get vaccinated on. They were like, don't do it, it's 5G. So I think that's the misconception about vaccination. it's from Bill Gates or what is that wants to inject something into people's body that is that's going to suck out their life food or make them die young. So I think it's a misconception that has been sold out to people. Yeah. So basically, I'm vaccinated with the second dose of it.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I must say that you are a very bold Nigerian. Thank you once again. Okay, moving on. I would like someone to volunteer for my next question. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Who is volunteering? You could just raise your hand before I call on the next person. Is anyone who would like to volunteer? If no, I would like, please hold on. I would like Thomas Agochi to please unmute his microphone or our microphone and also turn on his or her camera. Thomas Agochi. Can I please see your face, Thomas? Hi.
Hello.
Are you a Toastmaster?
Fortunately, I am.
You are. Oh, okay.
I just joined like a minute, like how much, 2 minutes ago. Like they're just putting me on the line.
Okay.
I was trying to get my son to calm down before I joined.
Oh no, it's fine.
Anyways.
All right. So my question is, have you been following the auditions of the reality singing show Nigerian Idols?
No.
Okay, let me give you a gist. So I watched the auditions and I see that a lot of people who come in, they come in with so much confidence and they sing off the note every single time. And then they are rejected by the judges. And the only thing they say is, oh, my mom, my friends and family told me I can sing. And I'm always surprised when they say that. So I want to ask you, who do you think gives the best feedback? Family, friends, or total strangers? Who do you think gives the best feedback? You could also share your experience while answering this question. Thank you.
Okay. So let me use my example as a Toastmaster. All right. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Thomas Agochi. I was using my example as a Toastmaster. When I first delivered my first speech, I never knew how it was going to go. I never knew how speeches were, evaluated very well. So on that day, a total stranger, I have never met her before. I've never seen her in any of the meetings. All of a sudden, she just walked up to me and said, who is Thomas Agochi? I said, I'm the one. He said, I'm going to evaluate you. And I was like, oh, what am I supposed to do? She said, don't worry, just do your best. And I said, okay, no problem. I went to the lecture when it was my turn, and I started giving my speech. And one of the things that she said that made me continue to be a Toastmaster was that I did a very good job. However, you know how it is in Toastmasters. However, I need to improve on certain things, my eye contact, my voice, how to project my voice and all that. So now, in answering your question, people who give the best feedback, not necessarily family, not necessarily friends, not necessarily total strangers. I would say is people who are sincere and have you at heart. Not a family member can be sincere and have you at heart and give you a very good feedback. A total stranger can be sincere, have you at heart, and give you a good feedback. I say, oh, don't go for that kind of audition. You're going to mess up. Or before you go for a voice training. Just wake up one morning and say you just want to go for that kind of audition. So I think it's people who are sincere that will give a sincere feedback to you on what you want. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well delivered, Toastmaster Thomas.
Thank
Indeed,
you.
people who are sincere are the ones to give the best feedback. And it's good for you to know that at Toastmasters, one of our key values or core values is integrity. We would always give you feedback. It is said here that feedback is the breakfast of champions. And that's why every part of the Toastmasters meeting is completely and honestly evaluated so that everyone can know how best to work on themselves. All right, moving on to my last question. I would like, who is calling out to me today? I like Chisom Albert. Are you a guest? Please, are you a guest first, Chisom? Can you unmute and say if you're a guest or a Toastmaster? Is Chisom here? Chisom Albert.
Yes, Chisom is here.
Are you a guest?
I'm a Toastmasters, but a guest to this particular program.
Oh no, I want a guest. I don't want experienced people to speak.
All right, I've not been experienced for the past 2 years. I have a gap in my.
You have a gap. Okay,
yes.
So you like to take this question. All right. So please, could you kindly show us your face? I like to see your face. Thank you.
Let me turn on the lights. Hold on, please.
All right, please.
I know, but like I think they've done well against them because they're very organized. They do very well. It's going to be interesting.
There you are. So Chisom, Toastmaster Chisom, who inspires you and why? Who inspires you and why?
You know, can they break on night?
All right, my name is Toastmaster Chisom Albert.
What we know about United,
who inspires me and why?
They've got no problem with that.
First of all, I'm someone who has self-motivation, enough of it. Apart from that, from the outside, inspired by several people, depending on the terrain. Career-wise, I've been inspired by my former boss, who is fortunately also on this particular program, Mr. Adeosun Oluyemi, has inspired me. And he inspired me in a particular occasion during departmental meeting, where he called me and told me I have the capacity to manage a company that's over 2,000 employees. And at then we are less than 100. And I smiled. So that particular speech that day, that particular statement that day, deposited his seed in me. And going forward, I see myself doing better and see myself in that particular light. So in career-wise, I would say this my particular former boss inspired me. Then in the political sphere, Donald Trump is another inspiration. I'm sure it's not conventional. Yes, Donald Trump is somebody who inspires me also. Why? Because I've been following politics for more than 15 years. So far, he's the only person who came out without any support from both the media, both the politicians themselves, both party members, both even some family members, both former career path members. You know, he's into real estate and the rest. Nobody actually supported him, but he came out and still inspired himself and get to that top he wanted to get to. So those are those that inspires me. Then most of all, Jesus Christ of Nazareth inspires me also. Whenever I read the Bible, also especially New Testament, I get inspired by his teachings and his lifestyle. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Chisom. I am glad I actually allowed you to take this question. You are a man of many inspirations, and I'm happy that you draw inspiration from different angles and from different facets of life. And you have people. Donald Trump, it's quite unconventional, and I like that. I like that you have strong reasons for drawing inspiration from him. Thank you, everybody. That would bring us to the end of our table topic session. As you can see, it wasn't so hard after all. However, we'll be giving evaluations towards the end of the meeting on what these speakers did well and what they could have done better. because we indeed want them to get better. So I would now like to hand over the virtual lectern back to our amiable and very interesting Toastmaster of the day, in person of Toastmaster Dr. Ayo. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Oluwatoyin Bolajo, the incumbent president of this wonderful club, this great club. I'm sure we enjoyed the table topics today. She performed very well, and all the speakers were ebullient. And not only ebullient, they gave us wonderful stories. And like I always say, in Toastmasters, other organizations may leave you with zilch value, but not Toastmasters Club. Value is always added to every aspect of the meeting. And with that being said, please, I want to reiterate, let us use the word zilch. Zilch, it simply means zero. So instead of using the word zero or nothing, just use the word zilch. I also want to make this announcement. Please mute your mic. If your mic is on, if you're not speaking, mute your mic. We only want to see your beautiful face. We don't want to hear anything while other people are speaking. Why? Because we want zilch to stop very much. For the furtherance of this wonderful meeting, this awesome meeting, maybe we'll take just 2 minutes break. 2 minutes break. Just 2 minutes. Madam Timekeeper, are you aware of that? That we're taking 2 minutes instead of 5 minutes. Madam Timekeeper, is that Toastmaster Josephine?
Yes, we are taking 5 minutes. We're back
Can we
here by
reduce it
4.
to 2 minutes? Can we reduce it to 2 minutes?
Okay, if you say so.
Okay, thank you, ma. Thank you, ma.
2 minutes.
So we'll be back at
Fine.
3:56, or let's say 3:57. 3:57. That's in 2 minutes time. Utilize the opportunity to network, send a message to someone, tell them that you love their speech. Tell someone that if the person knows someone that you know, maybe like Toastmaster Oluwatoyin, she knows Aliko Dangote, she can connect you with Aliko Dangote. Please tell your Toastmaster, I want to meet Aliko Dangote. I've never met him before. Thank you very much. So we'll be back in less than 2 minutes time. Welcome back. I think it's 2 minutes. The 2 minutes is over. We can continue with the meeting. I hope you'll be able to stretch your legs. I've been able to stretch my own legs, and I've been able to take a cup of warm tea because of the weather. It's great to be back. Before we move to the next segment of the meeting, which is the part for the prepared speeches, we have a special presentation by a DTM. Now, for our guests, DTM simply means a distinguished Toastmaster. Now, that is the top echelon in terms of the hierarchy of Toastmasters Club. Once you're a distinguished Toastmaster, you have achieved virtually everything in the public speaking part and the leadership part, or the leadership pathway and the public speaking pathway. That means you've given several speeches, you've done several projects. Our speaker today, unfortunately, I do not have his profile, but I know some things about him. He may not know that I know some things about him. He is the director, right? He's the Division F director. He used to be the president of the premier Toastmasters Club in Nigeria, Eagle Toastmasters Club. And obviously, he has impacted a lot of people. One of them happens to be one of the speakers during the table topics. He'll be talking about how to extract value from your Toastmasters journey. And this is very, very important. There is value, a lot of value. Like I said, Toastmasters Club or Toastmasters International is a wonderful club. There are some, they add zilch value to you, but Toastmasters will add a lot of value to you. We have no other person that our distinguished Toastmaster and our Division F director, and that is DTM Oluyemi Adeosun. Please give him a warm round of applause.
Thank you so much.
Lecture is yours, sir.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Dr. Ayo. It's a privilege to be with this particular club. I do not take it for granted. In fact, to show you how I value this club, I'm actually supposed to be at a district meeting today at 3 o'clock. So immediately after this presentation, I'm going to log in and cross over. But that is the kind of premium I place over this club. I like to celebrate the president, Toastmaster Toyin. I also like to celebrate the sponsor, Toastmaster Messi, and everybody on this call. I see quite a number of people I'm very familiar with. People like Toastmaster Oluwatife Banwo. You know, I just have to celebrate him. He has been consistent over the years. And people like Toastmaster Albert Chisholm. Please, I would like to encourage Learntor to hold Albert Chisholm to membership. He's currently clubless. If he was a football player, his net worth will be dropping. Please, even if he will be paying instrumentally over 3 months, bring him on board. And he can even pay once and even sponsor 1 or 2 members. That's by way of my icebreaker. Let me quickly go straight to the point. So we are looking at how to extract value from your Toastmaster journey. But to be frank, the title of my presentation is how to extract value from anything. In other words, if this was not a Toastmasters meeting, I'll probably still give this speech or presentation. Okay, so just, I know there are some people here who are extreme professionals with PowerPoint. I am showing you a PowerPoint, but this is not a PowerPoint presentation. I'm just showing you my notes. Bao, please take notes. Okay, so I am sharing with you my notes. It is not a PowerPoint because you won't see the power in the point. Okay, thank you so much. You know, you have to make some disclaimers so that you will not be judged, or the evaluator will say, next time, Mr. DTN, ensure that your PowerPoint looks like a PowerPoint, is a note in a PowerPoint. All right, so when we talk about extracting value, in the chat box, in the next 30 seconds to 1 minute, please, what does value mean to you and how do you extract it? Now, don't limit it to Toastmasters. From anything, maybe you're watching a football match, how do you extract value? You go and watch a movie at any of the cinemas, how do you extract value? Or let's even simplify it. You have with you an orange, how do you extract value from that orange? You are a married man or woman, how do you extract value from your spouse? You are a parent, how do you extract value from your children? Okay, you belong to one religious affiliation or the other, how do you extract value? You are a citizen, of Nigeria, or like some people on this call, you're a dual citizen. How do you extract value? So you are from the east, west, north. How do you extract value from your culture, from your tribe? Okay, you went to a university or a polytechnic, you went to a secondary school, you are in various WhatsApp groups. How do you extract value? So if you get this, then my job is done. Let me quickly flip through the chat box. Let me see. I hope I won't get zilch contribution. Okay. Let me quickly see. Ajibade says value is a positive lifelong experience devoid of zilch content. That is very well put together. Madam President says you extract value by first recognizing the value embedded in the person or assignment or process. That is quite on point. Can I get one or two more feedback, please? I need you guys to extract value from this chat box, okay? I would not appreciate zilch interaction or contribution in this brief session. Okay. Yes, thank you so much, Toastmaster Boluwatife. He says that value for some means pleasure, for others it means good. In other words, you have to what? Define what value is. When you now define it, you can be able to now maybe come up with a methodology or framework to extract it. And pleasure is a type of value. Growth is a kind of value. Fantastic. Now, Toastmaster Kabiru Sadiq says, you extract value by first extracting the essence of that person's existence. This is quite deep. I still need to extract more value even as time goes on from these contributions. So how do you extract value from your Toastmasters journey? Thank you for those contributions. So let's look through my notes together. Okay, we are used to thinking about receiving value as a passive endeavor most of the time. We expect items and services that we purchase to provide value to us by default. We pay the price up front, maybe to watch a movie, or you buy a book, an educational program, you subscribe to Toastmasters International, and then we feel entitled to simply relax and enjoy the value I've purchased. So I've paid my membership fee. I'm now a member of Learntor Toastmasters. I've paid. I've gotten an email. Is that all? I've paid for the ticket at the cinema. Is that all? But only some part of life work that way. Truly, some part of life actually work that way. But have you ever made a major purchase that you are a little hesitant about because you knew it will require extra work, like buying a new phone or computer? Or maybe you paid for a trip, or you stretch yourself to go to a cinema. What happens in those cases? The value delivery isn't completely or totally passive. Okay, there's an active element in many purchases. You must do your part to fully extract the value you are paying for. You have to learn and set up the technology you bought. So if you go for a seminar, you have to pay attention. You have to what? Pay attention. You have to take notes. And you do your best to apply what you have learned afterwards. And this applies to Toastmasters. There is hardly any speech, including table topics presentation, that I don't get 1, 2, 3 quotable notes to take. Even in impromptu speeches, so when I'm going for a Toastmasters meeting, either physically or online, I am taking notes. And that is not what? Passive. So when you are in a Toastmasters meeting and you are watching football concurrently, you can guess the value you get from both sides, both from the football match and from the meeting. In other words, you may be ghosting in one and getting almost zilch value. Okay, so even if you buy a fun video game, you still have to be skilled to enjoy it. It takes some effort to extract the fun. I was tempted to say Toastmaster Boluwatife had seen my slide. So even if You go to the club on a Friday night. You go to the beach on a Saturday morning. You need to be invested to extract value. If you are with the most fun people on earth, you need to, for example, show yourself friendly to be able to unlock the benefits in relationships. For example, one of the places I always let down my guards is in any Toastmaster meeting. I can walk up freely to anybody and, oh, say, how are you, Toastmaster Mercy? My name is Oluyemi. What do you do for a living? Can we collaborate? Why? Because of the Toastmasters values of respect, integrity, service, and excellence. I will not ask Toastmaster Mercy for referrals to say, oh, do you have a guarantor? I just take it for granted. Why? The way Toastmasters fraternity has developed over the years, if you don't have similar values with us, you won't join us. And what are these values? Respect, integrity, very key, service, and what? Excellence. So we don't do play half measures. It doesn't matter whether we are doing it for free or for a fee. We know that there must be transfer of value. So when you are coming to give a speech, you are coming to transfer value. When you are coming to evaluate a speech, you are coming to evaluate and cross-check value. You are providing assurance, quality assurance for the measure of value. That's why we evaluate every aspect. So when they tell you to give an impromptu speech, forget the fact that you don't have experience. Forget the fact that you are not prepared. All of your life has been preparing you for this moment. Take that 2 to 3 minutes. Speak as if that presentation is going to turn around Toastmaster Joseph's week. Speak such that if Toastmaster Mercy is at the verge of giving up on a client, she will recall your statement and say, no, this client, I'm not giving up on you. Speak in such a way that if Oluyemi Adeosun DTM is facing a challenge, he will remember and say, oh, Toastmaster Boluwatife said something at our meeting. He was speaking to me. We are talking about how to extract value. Okay, so passive value is great. It would be nice if we could transform all parts of our lives through easy consumptions. But that isn't the what? That isn't the case. That is not the case. So joining Toastmaster is a good example. You may gain some knowledge by showing up for the meetings. Sit in your chair, listen, observe, maybe jot down some notes about anything that strikes you as interesting. I've seen members approach Toastmasters in this way, and they generally progress, albeit slowly. It is hard to even notice that they have improved much after a year or two. It is like their skills are mostly frozen in time. And this applies to any type of relationship. So I know all of us here are professionals. Either we are working for a third party or we are working for ourselves, or a combination of the two. So if you are an employee, and because, in quotes, they are not treating you right, in quotes, they are not paying you right, in quotes, they are stressing you, you are not engaging your mind at work. In other words, you have zilch emotional investment in that organization. Do you know what will happen to you? You will experience diminishing returns in value adding and value creation. So as long as you wake up and you still go to that work, be engaged. Tap inward, intrinsic motivation. Let it overcome and overshadow the lack of extrinsic motivations. The same goes for Toastmasters. For example, you've paid, you've signed up, have a schedule. I typically tell people, in 12 months, you should have 12 speeches. I don't think one speech per month is outrageous. I can stretch it for you and say in 12 months, you should have done like 15 to 16 speeches. But let's just be conservative. So what do I plan as a Toastmaster when I joined this great commission? Every week, and I alternate a speech, a role play, a speech, or a role play. Now, because you may be in a club like Learntor, which is also like Igbo, where you have many high flyers. So sometimes what do? I'll do a speech, 2 role plays, and a speech. So even on Saturdays, my club meets on Saturdays, Igbos. On Saturdays when I have no role, do you know what I will do? I will get to the club meeting at least 30 minutes. I'll be on the neck of the Toastmaster of the day. That who is not showing up, can I step in? So let me shock you. You know, then we are using physical manuals. I still have my manuals here. So can you imagine? I don't have any role to play. And I still go to the club meeting with my manual. That tells you I have an expectation. I expect, please don't be like me. I expect somebody not to show up. I expect somebody to come late. You are what? Extracting value. You are giving value. And one thing I've seen in my short career, so just for the benefit of 1 or 2 people here, I'm an HR professional. I had employee relations in an organization with 4,000 staff. I've seen that it's not possible for you to literally give value and not get value back. So there is a permanent exchange. It's like electricity, outflow and inflow. That the inflow is not visible to you, don't be deceived. Okay? Don't be deceived. There is nothing called zilch returns on value creation. Okay? So you really need to put your mind to it. You need to have a plan. You need to have an agenda. You need to have a strategy as to how you are approaching Toastmasters, as to how you are approaching your personal development, as to how you are approaching your work. We're already in, today is 18, second quarter, first month is always over. You need to reevaluate your goals for the year and recalibrate both the goals based on the achievement, based on the reality, and so on and so forth. Okay, so members who embrace extra work extract extra value. Let me give you an example. They write and deliver speeches. Now, let me shock you. And I'm sure that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with Toastmaster Oluyemi Adeosun. I'm in love with her, as in sincerely. I met her for the first time at a speech contest. I was evaluating the speech. I was the chief judge. The night did not fall before I sent her a LinkedIn friend request. Fortunately and graciously, she accepted. And we chatted. Now, can you see value? Who knew that 1, 2, 3 years later, we will have this, so to speak, relationship as club president and club director? Now, when I first met her, what if she decided not to contest? Maybe I'll still meet her, but maybe it will be 2 years later. Maybe I will never meet her. So don't be passive. We just finished a round of contest. Forget whether you win or not. Contest. So if they are doing humorous contest, don't say, I'm not funny. No, that is the challenge. Write a 2-page speech. Try to be as funny. Look at some funny skits. Create your own and enter plunge. So don't, if you are a Toastmaster here and you call yourself veteran and you've never done a speech contest, I remove veteran from you. I remove it. There's nothing veteran about you. I've contested, I've won, I've contested, I've lost. In other words, you have to. And at certain levels, you must be preparing to play roles like contest chair, play roles like that can add value. Can you imagine the amount of money we pay, even though it's not a lot, but it's also a lot. So we have to be what? Engaging. Don't be passive. Passivity is not what? Allowed. So you have to acknowledge in advance that you have to put in this extra work. We won't resist it much because we will expect what? A bigger value. So just like if you bought a new fancy TV, a new electronics, if you do the extra mile of reading the manual, you'll be able to do what? Unlock more value. So I would like to round up by saying that we are surrounded by tremendous opportunities for growth, for learning, and for earning. I need to add that, okay? Because learning and earning always follow each other. And generally improvements in life, in our businesses, in our careers right now. But those who show up with picks and shovels are extracting lots more values than those who are mostly relying on their eyes and their ears. In other words, you have to come with your shovel. You have to come with your digger. You have to fold your sleeves. Like, what is his name now? Sanwo-Olu folded the sleeves in pictures when he was contesting. You have to embrace Toastmasters. You have to embrace that master's program, that PhD program. You have to embrace that certification. You have to embrace that book, that novel you are reading. You have to embrace that Bible study, that Quran study. You have to extract value. When you read and then you begin to get revelation, rhema, insight, somebody will give a speech in Toastmasters because you came prepared to listen. You will get what? Direction. You will get what? Inspiration. You will get what? Insight. You'll be watching a football match because you are so value conscious. From a football match, you will be able to make a slight adjustment in your business strategy on money. You will be watching, like Toastmaster Oluwatoyin, a reality TV show. People will be laughing, including you will be laughing, but you will get an insight as to how to repackage a program in your office. In other words, whether you are in traffic, you are in transit, you are on air, you are on land, you are with children, you are at the zoo, you are with adults, value is the only thing on your mind. And you are always transferring value. You are always extracting value. I welcome you once again to today's meeting, and I hope that you will show up. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, DTM Oluyemi Adeosun. That was a brilliant performance. I'm sure, you know, DTM Oluyemi was not like this when he joined Toastmasters. Were you like this, sir, before joining Toastmasters?
I joined 11 years ago. You don't want to see that version.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. That is the power of Toastmasters. You are transformed. The thing the major thing I got from this presentation is that passivity leads to zilch elevation. Passivity leads to zilch performance. Passivity leads to zilch progress. And passivity leads to zilch opportunities. So, but if you're active and you are proactive, the opportunities will come your way. Proactivity leads to elevation. Proactivity leads to you becoming a DTM like Toastmaster, like DTM Adeosun. Let's give him another wonderful round of applause again for that wonderful presentation. I'm sure he has not left us huge value, but he has added immense value to all of us. For the furtherance of this meeting, we'll now move to the next segment of this meeting, which is the prepared speeches. Today, we're going to have two wonderful speeches, and I'm sure we're excited. If you're excited, can you give the speakers a round of applause? You can give a virtual round of applause. Very good. It's going to be wonderful. But we have to move with time because I think we're a bit behind time. So we're going to have the two speakers. One is an icebreaker. That is the very first speech you will ever give at a Toastmasters meeting or as a Toastmaster. Your first prepared speech, and it's part of your project. The speaker is a student and a Scrum Master. She likes telling stories and traveling. And her focus in 2001 is building a digital career whilst being a top student. One of Toastmaster Sharon's favorite quotes is, "I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast the stone that will cause the ripples." The person giving the icebreaker today is Toastmaster Sharon Kude. But before I call her to the virtual lectern, I'll call on our evaluator. That is Toastmaster Boluwatife, who has already been introduced and is the grammarian, who's also the grammarian, to tell us what is expected of Toastmaster Sharon as she gives us her speech. Toastmaster Boluwatife, you're welcome to the lectern. Please let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. The Toastmasters program starts with an icebreaker speech. The idea of the icebreaker speech is that every member comes to the lectern and tells us about themselves. They tell us about many things about themselves. And at the end of the speech, we're supposed to leave with a better understanding of the person than we came with when we joined the meeting. Toastmaster Sharon today will be taking that bold step to pick up a shovel and start getting value in the Toastmasters education program. And basically, she would tell us about herself. We would be evaluating the flow of her speech. This is going to be her first Toastmaster speech to us, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but we would also evaluate the flow of the speech. She's supposed to tell us about a few areas of our life that we probably don't know about. So Toastmaster Sharon, I congratulate you for taking the first step to extracting maximum value from the Toastmasters program, and I will be evaluating you when the time comes. Thank you very much, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bolu. Toastmaster Sharon, you have 5 to 7 minutes, and we wish you all the best. We're sure you are going to give us a wonderful performance and not a zilch performance. The lectern is yours, Toastmaster Sharon Kude. Let's give her a round of applause.
I love telling stories and just anything open this beautiful mouth of mine. I love it. And I was supposed to be a journalist because I didn't just love to talk. I love to ask questions.
Toastmaster of the data, I think there's
a glitch, a network.
Exactly. I'll suggest Toastmaster Sharon, please, could you find a better place to present this speech? There's a lot of interference. We can't hear you at all. There's a glitch. So while she does that, could we move to the next speech so that we don't waste so much time? When she's ready, she should send us a message. Maybe I'll relay the message to you.
Thank you very much, Madam the President. So we'll move to our next speaker while she's preparing. Now, the next speaker, I'm sure you can't see me right now because her biography is heavy. Is somebody who call the heavyweight, not just in our industry, but in life. So I'll be reading her biography, which is also serving as a profile. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker, while we're still waiting for Toastmaster Sharon, is Toastmaster Mercy George-Igbafe. She is the founder of Learntor.ng. She's a digital strategist, agile and data enthusiast. consulting in agile digital transformational technology focused on agile, Scrum, Kanban, data analytics, business analytics, digital marketing. Toastmaster Mercy is an accredited professional Scrum Master, a digital marketing professional, a consultant with many years of expertise across the various sectors. She's also a coach, trainer, mentor, and she's driven and obsessed with an audacious goal of digitally upscaling 5,000 Nigerian agilists and digital marketing professionals by the end of 2021, with keen focus on youth and women. She's a wife and a mother of 6 adorable young ladies and a grandmother. She's also a grandmother. You don't look it, ma. Now, she has a growing community of nearly 2,000 entrepreneurs and professionals. Toastmaster Mercy Igbafe, George-Igbafe, will be evaluated by Toastmaster Oluyemi, who is a trained auto technician and also keen on self-development. Is a lover of advanced politics and the science of strategy. Is passionate about inspiring people and believes possibilities are boundless. Toastmaster Oluyemi is also the Sergeant at Arms of Ikeja Toastmasters Club. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and guests, Toastmaster Oluyemi will tell us what is expected of Toastmaster Mercy George-Igbafe. Toastmaster Oluyemi, the lectern is yours.
Thank you most graciously, Toastmaster of the group. Toastmaster Mercy George-Igbafe will be delivering a speech on effective body language. The purpose of this project is for the member to deliver a speech with awareness of intentional and unintentional body language, as well as to learn, practice, and refine how he or she uses non-verbal communication when delivering a speech. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. You're about to listen to a veteran deliver a speech. So we'll be watching out for all this. And I assure you, it is going to be a speech without a zilch value. Toastmaster Mercy, may the force be with you.
Gentlemen, Toastmasters and guests, please help me to make welcome to virtual lectern with a gracious and thunderous round of applause, the Learntor herself, Toastmaster Mercy George-Igbafe.
Thank you for the warmth of the introduction. Please, can you confirm that you can hear me?
Loud and clear, man.
Do you know that we can spot lies 54% accurate as a result of body language? So I want this particular speech to be as collaborative as possible. So I'm going to gesticulate and I would like your response. And I want zilch responses. And did you know that there are over 20 muscles in our face, in our body, that makes up 10,000 facial expressions? So I'm going to demonstrate while I sit down. When you look at me, what happened on my face? What do you see? I'd like your responses in the chat. With my face, what do you see? Dimples. Thank you. Smiles. When I do this, what message comes to your mind? Worry. When I do this, What message am I sending? And finally, when I stand like this and you are speaking to me, what message am I communicating? This speech from me has been a long time coming. I want to appreciate everyone. Defense, indeed, I don't care, is my watchword. This speech from me has been a long time coming. And I have zilch excuses to deliver because I've just come off 2 meetings. So I'd like to say good afternoon. I know we are all in Nigeria, fellow Toastmasters, guests, intending guests, and my esteemed, distinguished Toastmaster present here today. I've been rightly introduced. So I want to speak on body language, how its impact affects how we communicate. And I'll throw a bone up about my personal experience with regards to body language. So, and I'd like to say this quote by Ricky Gervais, I'm sure you know him, is one of the most controversial Hollywood celebrity, is a British actor and is notorious for what he says, how he says it. He just doesn't care, but he always communicates. He says body language is more powerful than words, and I can attest to that. So please permit me to take you on a small journey into my experience in 2002 while working at EcoBank. I often used to say, till tomorrow, I will call you. I use the term endearment to address people. My darling, my sweetheart, hello, dear. Are you okay, dear? So this almost landed me in murky waters. As one of my boss just came charging, and just came towards me. I've heard a lot of complaints that you are calling people dear, you are calling people, you're calling people. As a young person, I needed the job. Working in EcoBank was a big deal. It wasn't about the money. The brand associated was huge for me. I needed to maintain my calm. If there's anything, as you see, I want you to know today, I can't tell a lie, save myself. If I told the first lie, I will need a second lie to layer it. So if I tell that first lie and you ask me the next lie, I will tank at it. When she came, charge it. I didn't even resist. I just folded my hand. As you said, in defense, I didn't care what she was saying, but I won't say a word before somebody say, Mercy insulted our boss, not me. Oh. So instead of me insulting you with words, I use a lot of my gesticulation. I gesticulate a lot. I gesticulate, I make sure that you get my message. It's clear, it's succinct. So she was so irate. And you know they say this thing, they say, I'm sure you have heard it growing up. Silence is the best answer for a fool. She wasn't a fool, she was my boss. So I just kept quiet. So she was frustrated, she couldn't get through to me. Let's go to HR. I just marched behind, folded my hand, and I was walking, rolling my eyes, and did all of the body language that was driving her properly insane. By the time we got to the head of HR that knew me too well, I wasn't rude. I'm very straightforward. I'm very direct. I say what I mean what I say. I act what I do. I'm not one that you can catch in a lie because I say it the way it is. Now, so we went to the head of HR. Eventually, long story short, she started laughing because she didn't know what to do. She didn't know what to make of the entire experience. Anyway, that was my own little trick into body language and how it could have almost costed me my job. Anyway, so for me, it's very important to note that I'll take this quote as I'm coming close to wrapping up my story on the impact of body language. It can go this way or it can go that way and affect you either negatively or positively. There are people that are great with body language. They have a calm demeanor. They are not coming up as defensive. They are not coming up as strong, but they are able to still articulate their thoughts without resisting you. So I say it again, you can spot a lie 54% accurately. That is the statistics that I got on Google that says that with body language, you can know when somebody is telling a lie. So thank you so much. I hand over the virtual lantern to the general evaluator. Over to you.
Actually, you're supposed to hand over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mercy George-Igbafe, for that spiffing performance. It was awesome. I think everyone was almost held spellbound by that spiffing performance. And also, apart from that, you also added a lot of value to us. I'm sure everyone here, you did not leave us with zilch value. And it shows that you have really, really grown as a Toastmaster, as a public speaker. And I'm moved, touched by the fact that you're a grandmother and your performance is like that of a young 20-something-year-old lady. And you look a lot younger than you actually are in terms of age. Please let's give her another warm round of applause for that spiffing performance, that wonderful performance. Is Toastmaster Sharon ready? Toastmaster Sharon, can you hear us? Can you hear me? Are you ready? Are you ready for your presentation? Toastmaster Sharon.
She's just joining back the meeting, so give her a moment to join with audio. Toastmaster Sharon, can you hear us? Are you ready for your speech now?
Toastmaster Sharon. Is Toastmaster Sharon shy? Is she scared? Madam President. Madam President.
Can we appeal that Toastmaster Sharon deliver a speech without the video because of network? Is it possible?
If that would be a bit of a challenge, because like you said, 54% of, in fact, 90%, 54% of communication is body language. So how can she communicate without body language?
Toastmaster Sharon, can you try speaking now?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't see you right now. Are you ready for us?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
It's quite challenging.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. It's just a bit slurring.
And can you hear me?
Can she try without the video on, and then let's see how it goes first. And
Okay. Let's see if we can hear her voice. Then maybe at least so that today she will add value to us, and we will add value to her too. Toastmaster Sharon, is it possible for you to give your speech without the video? Okay.
Okay. Can you please confirm that you can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but it's a bit slow, but it's slightly better.
Okay, do I go ahead now?
Okay, it's better now. You may proceed.
All right. If asked what growing up was like for me, I would tell you one thing. I liked to talk. Oh, I loved to talk. I enjoyed just with my classmates. I loved telling stories. and just anything that would make me open this beautiful mouth of mine. I enjoyed it. And I was going to be a journalist because I didn't just love to talk, I love to ask questions. My mom still calls me a human questioner. Oh, before I forget myself and talk too much, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. As I was saying, I loved to talk as a child, but something happened to me along the way, and I became shy. Can you imagine a talker to becoming shy? I started to pull out. I didn't volunteer to express my thoughts or ideas. I had great ideas to share, but I would rather keep mute. I wasn't like that at first. I would naturally volunteer to share whatever was on my mind. You may be wondering what happened to me to cause such a drastic change. Well, yes, while growing up, I was often put down by my peers whenever I wanted to sing or dance. I was brutally written off. You will not be a good singer, you will never be a good dancer. So they said to me. But I kept trying until I finally gave up because I also believed I was never to be a good singer or a good dancer. So I began to withdraw from activities that made me sing or dance, and I finally withdrew from other social activities because I felt my ideas were zilch, and so was I. So even when I tried to stop, I found it difficult to paint a picture of what I wanted to say and communicate to any audience. But I kept pushing. And I didn't follow through on my journalism ambition. I'm currently studying economics in Obafemi Awolowo University. And when I got to campus, I joined Junior Chamber International, Nigeria, because I needed an environment where I could harness my potential. I am intelligent. I have always been. So I sought for any space that could allow me to grow and develop myself. Coming to Toastmasters was born out of curiosity. I was on a training with Learntor when Toastmaster Mercy announced the inaugural meeting for Learntor Toastmasters Club. I had no idea what Toastmasters was, and I decided I was going to attend the meeting to find out what it was. When I understood what it was, I knew this is what I had been on the lookout for all the while. A place where I could learn to express myself in speech and writing. I immediately informed my mom about Toastmasters and my intention to join. She was excited because over the years, she had observed my difficulty in trying to articulate my ideas or express my thoughts. As a Toastmaster, I believe my speaking and communication will be improved and well built. I see myself communicating comfortably and impactfully, speaking to international audiences, efficiently leading effective teams and organizations. I am excited to be a part of this highly esteemed club. I look forward to learning. I look forward to building great friendships. I look forward to being mentored and with time, mentoring others. Although I once lost my voice and passion, I look forward to rediscovering the lost and rebuilding the broken here at the Toastmasters Club, the Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sharon. You have not given us a zilch performance, but you've added value. And I must commend you for, even though unfortunately the video wasn't on, but we still were able to, you still added value to us. I must also commend Learntor Toastmasters Club for this device that converts your speech into a written form. I think you're using a device. I believe you're using a device. I think this is the first time I was in any club holding a virtual meeting with this kind of device. So kudos to you. And also kudos to Toastmaster Sharon Kude Toastmaster Sharon Kude, you said something that you're on campus, you're in the university. Can you do us a favor? Try and start a Toastmasters Club. Will you do that for us? I believe you will.
It will happen. Trust me.
I will.
Thank you very much.
I will.
Thank you very much.
Thank
I think
you.
we're coming to an end, but remember, feedback is the breakfast of champions. We need feedback to grow. Let me also say this, that we need to vote. I don't know, are we to vote this meeting? Are we voting for the best speaker at the, during the, for best speaker for table topics? Are we voting for the best speaker?
Toastmaster of the day, yes, we will be voting for the best speaker at the table topics, but we will not be voting for prepared speeches since they are on different levels. One is the icebreaker speech and the other is an advanced speech.
Okay, I agree with you. I agree with you. So the winner is Toastmaster Sharon Kude and Toastmaster Mercy. You're both winners. So give them a round of applause. They both won the speeches. So as we move on, we'll first of all like to evaluate our table topic speaker. Is the evaluator ready? Who is the evaluator? I wasn't given a name and there is no name on the agenda. Are we evaluating our table topic speaker?
Toastmaster Lucy Godwin is the table topics evaluator. Don't know if she's here.
Toastmaster Lucy Godwin, are you around? Is Toastmaster Lucy Godwin around? I guess she is not. We'll move on to the...
Toastmaster Godwin is here.
Oh, Toastmaster Lucy Godwin, please, can you evaluate the table topics speakers?
Oh. Oh
the lectern is yours.
Okay.
You're muted. You're muted.
Oh.
Oh,
good evening, Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening, Toastmaster Lucy.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
The smiling nuts.
I'm actually at work. I just have to excuse myself to come out and give this evaluation. Like they say, feedback is a breakfast of champions, and that is what we do here in Toastmasters. So I am evaluating the table topic speakers. Before I continue, I want us to give a round of applause to them all. They all gave a wonderful speech. Please, can we do that? Okay, thank you so much. First, I want to start from the table topic master. Thank you so much, Madam President, for that wonderful and seamless section that you gave to us. The topics were wonderful and timely. You did very well. Thank you so much. Speaker one, Omolola, I hope I pronounced that name very well. Okay. Thank you for the fact that even though you were not prepared, you came out bold. You gave us a wonderful speech. Even though you were not ready for it, you could have said, you could have declined, but you decided to add value to us by giving us the speech. The topic was, have you been vaccinated? If yes, why? And if no, why are you holding back? And the second, well, I love the fact that you gave a personal story. You told us your experience and why you did it, what inspired you. Thank you for that. But what I would have loved you to do well next time is, even though we are having a virtual meeting, we know in Toastmaster, we have a table topic section and anyone can be called upon. We don't need to be given notice ahead of time. So I would love it that next time you'll be more prepared, by addressing very well and making the environment conducive enough. I saw a child who was kind of distracting you, she saw that you were talking and she wanted to be part of it. and some noises at the background. So next time I would encourage us to ensure that our environment and everything is intact. But in all, it was a wonderful speech. Thank you for that. Then speaker 2, TM Thomas. I also love the fact that when you were called upon, you came out boldly and you share your story. Yes, you also share a personal story. But one thing I would have loved you to improve on, just like you said during your icebreaker, that you were encouraged to improve on your eye contact. So I want to also encourage you that you didn't really have much eye contact while you were talking. So I would love you that next time you would do that. And for the third speaker, what inspires you? That's TM Chiso. Thank you for your story. Thank you for sharing a personal story. What inspires you? You told us that one of your former boss inspired you, and President Trump, who is a conventional leader. Thank you for sharing your story. But next time, I would love you to be more prepared and ensure that the light among your surrounding is okay and all that. So in all, it was all a wonderful speech, and I really appreciate us all the speakers for what they did. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
yes,
Toastmaster Lucy Godwin, the smiling nurse. Despite your busy schedule, you were able to add value. You have not added zilch value, but you have added a lot of value with that speaking performance. For the furtherance of this meeting, we'll now go on to the evaluation of the prepared speeches. We will start with the first speech given by Toastmaster Mercy, which will be evaluated by Toastmaster Olumide. Toastmaster Olumide, can you please evaluate Toastmaster Mercy or give your report? Thank you very much.
Thank you most exquisitely, the Toastmaster of the day. Why shouldn't I join with a smile when the speech talked about body language? The great one, Toastmaster Mercy George-Igbafe. You started your speech with an endearing smile. That was a positive body language that will make anyone listen to your speech. I love the part when you spoke about the British actor that was referred to, and he said, I don't care. The way you did it, I don't care. Even if it has no audio, I will get what you're saying. That the British actor said, I don't care. That was a positive one. You spoke about your boss when your boss was aggressive because you caught someone there. The clenching of fists showed aggression. A great one. Also, when you were reported in the office and you were telling us how you rolled your eyes, you actually rolled your eyes. I watched that for that. I watched out for it. It was a great one. The greatest speech in the world can be improved. I noticed when you were introduced by the Toastmaster of the day, your hands was like this. Maintain an open posture. Let your hands be by your side. Your hands be by your side. It's open, it's receptive. Also, you were speaking about body language. You told us about body language. Our body language. I was muted, so I'll use more time. You told us how body language can affect you, how body language can affect you. I noticed your hands was as if, in a posture as if you were praying. I think the facial expression would have done magic there. How body language can affect you. Maybe a facial expression showing frustration. Frustration. How body language can affect you. Also, after your speech, when you were handing over to the Toastmaster of the day, your hands was like this. You are supposed to introduce him, telling him to come, handing over to him. If you were muted, the Toastmaster of the day won't get the cue that he's supposed to come. You had a wonderful presentation. I will challenge you with this, that give another speech and don't tell us it is on body language, because it has already seen in our subconscious. And I know you had some, because it's on body language, you told us to do some things, which was a positive one. So you got us there. I challenge you to deliver another speech. Don't tell us it's on body language. Infuse stories, and let's watch out for how you use the body language to convey your message. You know, you had a wonderful presentation. It was a 5 to 7 minute speech. And I thought I was evaluating a table topics. I never knew you'd use up to 3 minutes. That was a great one. Over to you, the Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Lumide. You've added value to us. The value you added is not zilch in nature. You've added immense value to us. And we thank you very much. I'm sure we've learned a lot. The next person to be evaluated is Toastmaster Sharon Kude. Toastmaster Sharon Kude will be evaluated by Toastmaster Oluwatife Banwo. You're welcome to the lectern, Toastmaster Oluwatife Banwo. Let's give a round of applause.
Toastmaster Oluwatife had to step out for a meeting, so he asked me to evaluate him instead. Please, may I proceed to Toastmaster of the day?
Oh, yes, Madam President.
Thank you so much.
The virtual lectern is all yours.
Thank you very much. Toastmaster Mercy, I see this as a great honor to be able to evaluate your speech. This is my first time evaluating an audio speech without visuals. And
it's Toastmaster Sharon, man, not Mercy.
Toastmaster Sharon, pardon me. This is the first time I'm evaluating a speech with only audio without the visuals present. And I must say that you did a very good job. You wowed us. Trust me, it is not unusual for you to have network challenges in these times where virtual meetings is now the norm. However, coming back after series of network challenges is actually the work, and you did well. I would have been distressed such that it would have even shown in my voice, but you showed a greater level of maturity by coming up strong, coming up calm, and coming up so controlled. I love your resilience. I love your calmness in your voice. One would think you planned it to be an audio speech with the way you handled it. I loved your content. I love the fact that you spoke about your story. You gave us a background of your childhood challenges and why there was a switch in your character. I love that. It gave us the ability to connect with you and understand where you're coming from. And I also loved how you were able to bring in a real person who is a person of Toastmaster Mercy into your speech so we could draw the lines. What will I love you to do better? Of course, I would love you to get a better network provider or a better network space where you can deliver your speech and we can get a full appreciation of your beautiful content. And also reduce the use of and. You used a lot of and. You can even use and to start a sentence. Reduce the use of and, use more connectors. You could say furthermore, you could say however, you could say in addition to. Those are great synonyms for and. In all, I would love you to deliver this speech again in a better circumstance, but you did well and you've been introduced. I wish you the best in your Toastmaster journey, and I cannot wait to see you start your own club on campus. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that spiffing performance. Our president, Toastmaster Oluwatoyin. We've overshot the time. It's 5 o'clock. In fact, it's 2 minutes after 5. We know that we've had some challenges, but I believe we can still move fast and end on time. I'll call on the general evaluator, who will call on the others to give their report briefly. Madam General Evaluator, is it possible for us to briefly give the reports? You and your team. Madam General Evaluator, are you there? Toastmaster Adeshola, are you there? Or should I proceed?
Sorry, I had Hello, can you hear me? Please confirm that you can hear
I
me.
hear you very well now. So you can
Okay, great.
proceed.
All right, so briefly, I will be calling on my team members. First of all, I would start with the grammarian, Mr. Grammarian Toastmaster Oluwatife Banwo, to give us a feedback on how well we fared in the use of grammar and the use of the word of the day. Over to you, Toastmaster. Please, in a minute or less, 30 seconds would be nice. Over to you, sir.
Toastmaster Oluwatife is not here, but
oh,
on
okay.
the chat, there was a lot of use of the word of the day.
Of the word of the day. Okay. Okay, over to the listening evaluator. Listening evaluator, Toastmaster Shayo. Can you help us with your feedback?
Well, thank you very much. Mine is to just ask a question because of our time. So I'll just ask in one of the table topic session, who inspired TM Chisom Albert? He gave 3 names. Can anybody just tell us who those 3 people are so that we are actually paying attention? Yeah, 3 people that inspired TM Chisom Albert. Let's find out who they are. Quickly. Anybody?
Donald Trump.
Yes. Oh.
Absolutely. Donald Trump, 1.
DTM Oluyemi Adeosun.
2.
And then his boss.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And that's my report. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Listening Evaluator. Finally, can we have the accountant? Toastmaster Chinyere, are you in the house? Please give us your evaluation feedback in a minute or less.
Okay, thank you so much. I am in the house.
All right.
I doubt that anyone in this meeting would say they got zilch value from this meeting. And the usage of pause isn't a crime in speeches, except it totally reduces the value and fluidity of the speech or the presentation. So I just want to speak on Omolara Fabule. I guess I got that correct. She did use pause fillers, yet her speech was fluid. Her delivery was quite colloquial with use of very conventional words and phrases. Another one was Chisom, that he also did use pause fillers, obviously, basically to coordinate his thoughts, judge his body language. However, I can say those fillers did not distract us from the presentation and value gotten. In all of this, I would claim that I found zilch distraction in the total presentation. I know that Sharon used lots of pan, which was distraction. I would like to hand over to the general later, please. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Chinyere. Beautifully done. Finally, I'd like to call out on our timer, Toastmaster Josephine. I see great work that you're doing. Thank you for keeping us in check. Can you give us a brief feedback on how well we did and fared with time?
Thank you. We a bit behind our time, but I would say the first speaker, Molulu, spoke for 2 minutes and 11 seconds. The second speaker, Thomas Agochi, spoke for 2 minutes, 14 seconds. Chisom Albert spoke for 2 minutes, 4 seconds. Then our amiable DTM, Oluyemi Adeosun, spoke for 19 minutes, 58 seconds. And for the prepared speech, our amiable TM, Mercy George-Igbafe spoke for 7 minutes, 40 seconds. While TM Charion Kudi, for the icebreaker speech, she spoke for 4 minutes, 32 seconds. And our meeting generally, the timing, because of the technical issues we're having here and there, we are a bit behind schedule. 5:07 at the moment. Thank you. Over to you,
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Timer. I will just give a brief evaluation of the meeting. I think the meeting started on time. When I came in, we had some of the role players and officials in the house, and I think that is quite commendable. We started, I want to commend Madam Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Josephine. She came so ebulliently and she basically kicked us off very nicely. For those of us that were a bit lethargic, we came in and we were very excited based on the energy that she gave us. We want to say thank you for that. I also like to commend all the role players doing fantastically well. And what I would want to point out in terms of recommendations, when the table topics master was handling her session, I would like to recommend that for the first table topic speech, it's always advisable that you call on experienced Toastmasters to give the speeches first, just so that other members and guests, for the benefit of guests in the house, they can actually listen and know how such a segment is done, on how table topic speeches are given. That would basically help them. Aside from that, I think it was well done. We're a bit behind time, and maybe we should probably check the break that we gave earlier. I believe that without that, we should have still been within time. But anyways, I think it was a really good meeting. It was well done. Attendance, very commendable. I think we can definitely do better, but in all, it was a very well done meeting. Looking forward to coming again at Learntor Toastmasters Club. Thank you so much. And beautiful work by DTM Oluyemi Adeosun. That was something. I had a lot to learn. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster DAIO. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Adeshola, for that ingenious presentation, ingenious work that you've done with your team members and everyone. It's been a fantastic meeting. It's been spiffing. It's been creative. In fact, it's been like a virtuoso playing his instrument. I'll just end with this before I hand over to my president. If it's going to be, it's up to you. It's just like the story of the person that was holding a bird that wanted to disgrace a sage. He went to meet the sage, a brilliant man who was blind. He said, "What am I holding in my hand?" He said, "A bird." He said, "Correct." He said, "Is the bird dead or alive?" He wanted to embarrass the bird. If the man had said the bird was dead, he would have left the bird to fly away. If he had said the bird was alive, he would have strangled the bird and killed it, just to embarrass him. So the wise man just said, if it's dead or alive, it's up to you. Whether that bird is dead or alive, it's up to you. I just want to say this. Learntor Toastmasters meeting today has added a lot of value to me, to everyone here. It's up to us to go out there and use this value to encourage people to transform life, just like the president said. Thank you very much. It's been wonderful being your Toastmaster today. I am D.A. Ayo. I believe I've been a wonderful servant to all of you. I now hand over the virtual lectern to our indefatigable, brilliant, eloquent, and erudite president by the name of Toastmaster Oluwatoyin. Toastmaster Oluwatoyin, the lectern is yours.
Thank you, D.A. Ayo.
Selfie time.
Okay, thank you, D.A. Ayo. Thank you so much for doing a spiffing job. Your presentation had zilch mediocrity. It was amazing. And I think I would like to award you officially for being the best user of the word of the day. You did it so brilliantly. It seemed like you had planned beforehand to use that word. Thank you so much. We look forward to having you at more of our meetings to add color to it. Before I proceed and just conclude this meeting with a few words, please, I'd like to crave our indulgence to turn on our cameras. We'd like to take a selfie and capture the moments. So please, if you may, if you're up to it, please turn on your camera, give us your best smile, and look into the camera while Toastmaster Mercy takes us a beautiful picture. Say cheese.
Say cheese. Say cheese. My cheese is finishing.
1 second.
Cheese.
And let me check here. 1 second, please. And done.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mercy. Your second is longer than a minute. We appreciate everyone. Thank you for all the guests who have joined. Would have loved you to introduce yourself, but would have a breakout room for about 5 to 10 minutes where you can introduce yourself to us and we can let every other person go. Before I conclude, I'd like to introduce a new member to the club. Yay! We have a new member in the name of Ifeanyi Ukiaru. Ife Ukiaru, please unmute yourself and say hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Ife. She's a new member of the club and we're so happy to have you join Learntor. We can't wait to see you deliver your speeches, compete in contests, and even take roles and become even a club officer. We know that you have a great journey ahead of you. You are in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, and you also have the right support structures. And I look forward to collaborating with you on various projects. Welcome, Toastmaster Ife, and we would love to see more of you. Thank you. If you are a guest, please indicate in the chat box so that we can add you to the breakout room and engage you further. I know you may have questions for us like, how do I become a full-time member? What do I stand to gain? What do I stand to benefit? Please drop it in the chat box and we'll add you to a breakout room very shortly. For everyone that has attended today's meeting, I want to say thank you so much. I know that you have drawn immense value from it, and I hope you continue to derive value from life. We look forward to seeing you next month. Our next meeting is the first Sunday of the month. We have our meetings on the first and third Sunday. So the next meeting would be on 2nd of May. And the one after that will be 16th. We'll send out invitations and would definitely be in communication with you. Thank you to all the role players. Thank you to our club sponsor, Learntor. You are amazing. Toastmaster Mercy. Thank you to all the club executives. You always make this job look easy because of your hard work and your resilience. Thank you, everyone. Once again, keep encouraging everybody around you. Keep drawing value from life. And indeed, you have the power to paint out the vision in your head. Thank you. Have a wonderful week. And God bless.
The guests can stay back and have an interaction with the president